Hey guys, what's going on? It's a Pack of Doom, and as you guys may or may not know, I worked at a McDonald's for about a year and a half. It was actually about to be 16 months, but I quit like 3 days before my 16 months, right? So, and when you think of someone who works at McDonald's, you kind of get this negative stigma, like, oh, they're a teenager, don't have any work experience, they don't know what they're doing, and in general, it's this negative kind of thing with McDonald's workers. And it's not just like a few people that think this, it's almost every customer that thinks this. Now, most customers there were okay, right? But there were a select few I want to tell you guys about now. And I think you guys will find it interesting. And, like, just remember that the McDonald's workers are people, right? I'm a person. I'd like to think I'm a person. And I work there, and I got treated like this. And everyone who works there is a person. And people make mistakes, right? If you get your sandwich wrong, don't be like one of the guys I'm going to tell you about in this video. Just be respectful. People make mistakes. Just understand you'll get your food. Just calm down. Alright, with that rambling over, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the first story. Also, guys, I just recently upgraded Windows 10, so if my audio quality sounds a little weird, that might be why. Also, I just got new headphones that are surround sound. I'm kind of still getting used to them, so maybe it's just weird to me. I don't know. Let's get started. So this first story isn't really even my fault. This is kind of my boss's fault, or just my management in general's fault. So the area I live in is owned by Matthew's Management Company, the McDonald's area, anyway. So, and they decide to do promotions all the time. One day we were doing 50-cent ice cream, and I didn't know about this, right? So I go in at like 5 o'clock because I close, right? I go in at like 5 o'clock, and people ask me for 50-cent ice cream. So I turned down 3 people. I still feel really guilty about it. They're like, oh, do you have 50-cent ice creams? I'm like, no, I'm sorry, we don't. And then I'm playing with the register because I was really bored. I was playing with the register and I hit the show prices button and I see that our ice creams are 50 cents, in fact. So I'm like, oh, I just turned all those people down. And that's not the story, don't worry. So this lady comes in. It's her husband, and 2 kids. We have cameras in the drive-thru speakers. Don't try to flip us off. We can see you. But, yeah, so there are cameras there, right? So I know who's in the car. She's like, yeah, we'd like 4 free ice creams. And I go, I'm sorry, ma'am. They're not free. They're 50 cents, though. And that doesn't seem too expensive. I didn't say that, but that's just what I was thinking. She's like, well, the radio said they were free. So, and then, I go, I'm sorry, ma'am. They're not free. They're 50 cents. If you'd like, I could try to knock them down to the price of 2, but I cannot give you 4 ice creams for free. And she's silent for a moment. She's silent, and I hear, yeah, whatever, we're just gonna go away. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry I couldn't help you. And then she goes, to my surprise, she just goes, yeah, go to hell. And I go, okay, have a nice day. Okay, the second story is, I'm gonna include some vulgar language for effect. This actually happened, by the way. I'm gonna put a little text on the screen if you want to skip the story because you don't want to hear the language. The timestamp will be there. Just go ahead and go to that time. I might even put an annotation. See how edity I'm feeling. But yeah, I will put a little text on the screen to skip this video or this story if you so choose. But so this wasn't directly to me, right? But this was to my coworker, and she's about my age. She's so nice, right? She doesn't do anything to hurt anyone. And this was at the time I put in my 2 weeks notice before this, so I didn't really have anything to lose if I did anything, right? With all that pretext out of the way, we're super slow, right? And this guy comes in and orders 10 McChickens. Now, McChickens aren't expensive, and this is before the whole McChicken thing. He was not super horny. But I didn't even think about that till just now. But this guy comes in and orders 10 McChickens. The total's like $14.30, right? Not a lot of money, but I'm in the grill area, and I can kind of hear him in the drive-thru, right? And he's like, that's too much. You don't know how to fucking do your job. The computer's wrong. You should fucking kill yourself. He hands her his card, and then he goes to the third window to get his food. Now, I heard this, and she tells me about it after, right? This is already, I was alone in the grill area, right? I just made 8 of his sandwiches. I'm working on the last 2. So in my mind, this guy is a complete dick. And I'm making his food. I don't need this job anymore. I have another job lined up. I'm out of here in like 10 days anyway. So, again, this is before the whole McChicken thing. This is really convenient now that I think about it. I take the McChickens, I make them, I fold them in the wrappers, and I'm like, wait, I can't just let this douche get off scot-free, right? I unwrap the sandwiches, I take my thumb and I push a giant hole through the middle of them. In retrospect, probably not the nicest thing to do, but at the same time, have the human decency to not tell the McDonald's worker to kill herself if you don't like your total. Okay, so this next story is, it's kind of iffy. Like, this happens a lot, apparently, which is completely ridiculous to me. But, so, this was, like about a year into my job, right? And towards the end of the night, when we get really slow, we typically have one person making all the sandwiches, right? That one person was typically me. So, this guy comes in and orders a clubhouse with no onions, right? I make it normal, which I don't remember fully what it gets. It gets mac sauce, lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, bacon, all that stuff, and I didn't put onions on it. He comes back, pissed, and my manager's like, I'm sorry, sir, what's wrong? And he goes, I didn't want mac sauce on this. Apparently, mac sauce has onions in it. I don't know if anyone is aware. But he goes, I didn't want onions or mac sauce on it. And so this is probably a bit of my fault, but like I said, we're people make mistakes. So my manager takes it back, puts it in the little section we put all the wasted food in, and I make it again with no mac sauce, but I put onions on it. Probably shouldn't have done that, but whatever, right? Now, it's a human mistake. Humans make mistakes. But the guy comes back. He is livid. Like, he's beyond mad. He throws it at me. Luckily, he's a white guy, so he couldn't throw. I'm white, don't worry. I'm not being racist. But he couldn't throw, so it just slams all over my clean floor. A little salty about that. He goes, make it again! I'm sorry if I just blew out the speaker, but he just yells, make it again, right? So I make it again. I'm a little nervous because if I make it up, or if I make it wrong again, he might shoot me or something. But I make it fine, he leaves, and it was bad. So this isn't even a bad customer story. These next two aren't really bad customer stories. These are the last two, I promise. I know, I'm talking you guys' ears off. Yeah, this, crap, I had it in my head. Oh yeah, so me and my coworker Daniel were on break, right? Now, he knows how to do his stuff, right? We both kind of know how to do our stuff. We've been there for a while. And, everything is going fine. We're slow, right? And our manager comes out with the most horrified expression on her face. And she goes, guys, we just got an order for 50 McDoubles. And we kind of look at each other like, dude, we need to go back there. And we just kind of go back there and make the food. And you know what? While I'm thinking about this story, it was storming really bad here one day. And we were closing. It was me, him, and that same manager, right? Now, they're both very religious people, right? And I'm not a religious person, right? But I like to make jokes out of it sometimes. So, it's storming really bad, and lightning struck, something less than a mile away from us. So the power went out and our generator was on, right? Now, the power comes back on, the generator's like, okay, my job here is done, so everything's back to normal, right? But it's starting to get really bad, so I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make a joke out of it. I open the drive-thru window, and I yell as loud as I can. I just yell, Hail Satan! And lightning strikes, and the power goes out. And I swear they were going to cry, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. So this last story is, drugs, kids. So, like I said, I worked the night shift. And, our McDonald's was like an hour, or not an hour, like a mile away from a really big concert place we have, right? And one day, they were having a Panic at the Disco and Weezer there. And as you can imagine, a lot of the kids left after Panic at the Disco. I don't see why. I love Weezer. But, like, they left after Panic at the Disco, and like kids do, they got high at the concert. And so we get busy, and then we get really slow towards the end. And this one teenager, and I think it looked like his mom, but it looked like his mom if his mom had him when she was like 15. Anyway, she looked too young to be his mom, but too old to be his sister or girlfriend or whatever. Anyway, he comes in, like he had like a McChicken and a large sweet tea or something, right? So I hand him the food, and he handles that fine, right? His eyes were so red, he was blazed out of his mind. I hand him the large sweet tea. Now, our large cup's a little large. You have to kind of grab him, right? Instead of grabbing him, he I don't know how to explain this over video. He flattens his hand and just pets the cup. And he goes, "Thank you." And then he drives off, and I don't drink sweet tea, but if I did drink sweet tea, I would drink that one. I gave it to my coworker. Yeah, that was that story. So yeah, that's all the stories I'm going to tell for today. I could definitely fill up another video. If you guys want to see that, let me know down in the comments, and I will most definitely make another one, because this is really fun to make. But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.